So this is the acoustic guitar part for Lechu Neranena, which I can't pronounce. There really is no acoustic guitar part in the original recording that I could tell. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the song, and we're using the acoustic guitar to provide some filler sound in the choruses and actually simulate a offbeat string part in the intro, verses, and interludes. So because because that part where we're simulating the strings, it's a little different. So after kind of playing through the song a little bit, I realized that we don't have to play the full chords, and there's a much simpler way to play that offbeat pattern than just playing the regular chords. So we'll cover that now. So for the intro and the verses in the first part of the song, the chord sheet will call it offbeat pattern A, and it's in the key of G, capo 2, so really an actual key of A. And the chords are E minor, D, A minor, and B minor. So for a standard E minor, which looks like this, the bottom two strings are open. And for a D, you're playing the second fret, E string, third fret, B string. For an A minor, on the bottom two strings, you're just playing an open E and a first finger on the B string. And then sliding down to a B minor, you're playing second fret, E string, third fret, B string, which is the same as when you were playing the D. So an easier way to play this, again, because we're simulating this offbeat strings, which are going to be a little higher anyway, is we only really need to play the bottom two strings. So in the offbeat pattern A and B, which pattern B is after the key change, we just need to play the bottom two strings, and it makes it a lot easier because shifting from E to D to A minor to B minor, that's a lot of hand movement, and especially when you do the key change and then you go F sharp minor to E to B minor to C sharp minor, it's a lot of moving around, and we're already trying to focus hard on getting the offbeats correct, so we'll just make it a little easier for ourselves. So that you can see the tab written on the chord sheet for that offbeat pattern A and B. So the A is just going to be the two open strings for the E minor chords. The D, you're only playing the bottom two strings of a D chord. And then for the A minor, I'm just going to put my first finger down on the B string, first fret of the B string, and I'm not going to play the normal E minor shape. I'm just going to leave these fingers off, and then kind of ready for the next position, which is the B minor, which looks the same way we were playing the D. So it sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's a lot less moving around than if we were playing the full chords. So that's going to be, it may take a little bit getting used to just playing the chords that way, but it's a lot simpler. So the trick with offbeat pattern on these, because again we're simulating strings, you don't want the strings to ring out. You want it to be kind of play and then the sound to die off real quick. And so I'm very, very slightly muting the strings with my palm, just so it doesn't go. I want it to, the sound to come and then stop. And it's close enough to the string part to function really well for this song. So you basically play that for the intro verse 1, and then you're going to go into the chorus just to a normal strumming pattern. Now, you're going to be alternating between doing these offbeats and then doing normal strumming. And you might have to cut, in order to go from one to the other, you might have to cut what you're playing short of the previous section. So the to the Rock of Our Salvation. So now I've got to go to a C for the chorus, but I'm kind of, my hand's down here for the because I was muting it, so it's a little hard. I got to get up here to beat 1, which I just either have to do real fast or maybe just leave one of the offbeats off at the end of the verse so that I can be ready for to come in time on the chorus. So the chorus pattern is down, down, up, down, down. For all the chords that get a full measure by themselves, and then some of the chords get get 2 beats, and you just kind of truncate that a little bit. So just to kind of play through that chorus. So then I go back into the offbeats. So the chords for the chorus before the key change are all real easy, except for the B over D sharp. If this were Open the Eyes of My Heart, we would be playing it like this. But that's a little bit of a tricky chord to get to from the D. So what we're going to play instead of a B over D sharp is just a B5, and this is a kind of a chord that you'd play more typically if you're an electric guitar player, because it's only playing 3 strings, and the chord chart for that is on the second page of the chord sheet. But instead of playing, like a B, sometimes I'll play like a B like this, where I'll only play the middle 4 strings. In this case, I'm only going to play the A string, the D string, and the G string. And it's kind of like a little bit like the open shape, but instead of letting the bottom 2 strings ring out, I'm just not going to play them. And there would be nothing wrong with playing all those, the bottom 2 strings for this B, but to make it a little simpler and to help us out when we get to the C sharp later in the key change, just that we're kind of familiar with playing it, those 3 strings, I think it's a little easier to do that like that. Okay, so you're just going to be alternating between the offbeat patterns and normal strumming, and then we're going to go to a key change. So the offbeat pattern B after the key change is just a variation really of offbeat pattern A. So instead of just the open 2 strings, we're going to start with first and second finger on the 2nd fret of the E and B string. And then we're going to slide down 4th fret on the E string using your 2nd finger, 3rd finger on the 5th fret relative to the K bow again of the B string. And then I can just slide down 2 frets to get that B minor, and slide back up for the C sharp minor 2 frets. So this one works nice because your fingers are staying very close to each other and you're not having to do a lot of movement. Again, the alternative was to which is okay to play like that, but I don't think it's necessary. So the offbeat pattern B will sound like this. And so you're keeping your fingers very close to each other and sliding down, and so there's not nearly as much movement. It's much more efficient way to play this part, and it's a lot easier. And it's instead of playing those bar chords all over the place, it's going to be a lot easier on your fingers too. So the after the key change, it just alternates again between the offbeat patterns and the normal strumming in the chorus. And I guess just touch up on the C sharp over F. So that's just 2 frets down from that B5 we were playing. So we're playing a C sharp 5. Like that. So you'll be going from an E to a C sharp 5. And again, the acoustic guitar is providing a filler sound on this part of the song and then during any of the choruses. So it's not crucial to have a full sounding chord like we normally do. Where you're playing all the strings. You just got to get the right chord in there. So that let me play that key change chorus. Okay, one other thing that's a little tricky is the chorus at the end. There's 2 of them back to back, and it goes. It's not just like playing 2 back to back. It kind of merges them together in a little tricky way. So let me play that, going from one to the other. So that D king kind of comes, it just feels like it comes a little quicker. But just kind of, you listen to the rest of the team, listen to the recording when you're practicing, and you'll be fine. And then again, when you're going from the chorus to the offbeat back and forth, if you need to leave a little bit, like half a beat early from one section to get ready for the next, that's totally fine. Because you always want to start each section in the right way. So starting the chorus in a nice down strum, and starting the offbeat patterns ready to go. And then that last F sharp minor chord of the ending, you don't have to play there. You'll just stop at the C sharp minor before that.
Singing to the Lord with joy, to the rock of our salvation. Singing to the Lord with joy, to the rock of our salvation. Singing to the Lord with joy, to the rock of our salvation. Come into His presence and praise, singing and shouting, proclaim that Adonai is a great God. Come into His presence and praise, singing and shouting. dry land. His is the sea, for he made